want to thank everybody for tuning to a special edition, Steel City Sports World. I'm your host, Luther Dupree. Got my man Claudio, Smoking Jim. Special guest Mike is in the house. Mike Migliore is not with us tonight, man. Get well. He was a little down, but he's supposed to be back next month. So get well, Mike. We'll hold it down for you. But we got our Steel City news. Claudio, what do you have for us?
Terrell Owens going in the Hall of Fame. And he's not going to be in Canton. And that was kind of the big talk. And, you know, at first I was a little bit upset about that because I really wanted him to get out there. And I know it's going to be a fantastic speech full of emotion. But you know what? The more I think about it, the more I don't blame him for not going. He's going to have his own thing, his own people, his own family, his own setup. And I think that's kind of saying, you know what, you guys dog me and I'm going to dog you back. Now, who's the guy at the Green Bay Packers? Jerry Kramer. Jerry Kramer he retired 1,000 years ago. And without question, should have been inducted to the Hall of Fame a long, long time ago. So they obviously dogged him as well. But I think they got more personal with T.O. And I don't blame him. A lot of the guys who are voters in these halls of fame, they tend to be a little power hungry. And they tend to be a little too judgmental. There was one guy who was a baseball voter, and he was very smug, and he was very critical of everybody, and this guy's not a good enough guy, and this guy's not a good person. And years later, they found out that he did some things with kids that he shouldn't have done. So he was judging other people. So you know what, Terrell Owens, even though he had his issues and stuff like that, I think he's a good guy with a lot of heart, and I think he's going to give a fantastic speech if he can get through it. And I think the people, at first I thought he would lose out on it, but now I think the people in Canton are going to lose out on it. And again, I wish him well, and I think it's going to be a great speech, and I give him credit for sticking to his guns.
You know what, man, T.O., they definitely dogged him. He should have been a first ballot. He might have been maybe the second or third, at worst, wide receiver. And for him not to wait 3 years is a disgrace. I understand what he's going to do. He's going to have his own thing, and I support him. T.O. has always been a guy, held out for camp, doing sit-ups in the front of his garage, talking about Donovan McNabb spitting up before the game. He's going to do it his way, but he's still going to be in the Hall of Fame. It's about damn time, as LeBron James, the great one, said, right, Smoking Jim?
Yeah.
All right, we got Jim's Steel City News. Before he does this, the words you're about to hear reflect Jim's thinking. They don't reflect mine. They don't reflect Claudio. They don't reflect Mike's. Smoking Jim stands alone. It's all yours, Smoking Jim.
Hey, thanks, Luther. I'm a little upset. My house got broken into last night. They killed my female dog, and the only thing they stole was my autographed picture of Shady McCoy. Hey, listen, let me let everybody give you my Super Bowl prediction. My Super Bowl prediction for this year is the Los Angeles Rams versus the John Gruden Oakland Raiders. And win or lose, Martavis Bryant is MVP. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers are a big soap opera. You know, the bold and beautiful Antonio Brown didn't show up for minicamp because he was so depressed about all the media attention. He's under a microscope. And what's the first thing he does? He shows up to training camp in a helicopter, and the first words out of his mouth is they should sign Dez Bryant. That's why James Harrison said, Coach Tomlin, his team is undisciplined. Hey, listen, Le'Veon Bell floats like a running back and catches like AB. It's never been about the money. It's always been about me. Rain, rain, go away so I can throw some money on some strippers today. Hey, listen, the Pittsburgh Steelers are like General Hospital. James Conner's a brittle brother. Fat, slow, lazy Ramon Foster but has a boo-boo on his knee in a non-tackling drill, non-contact drill. Now the slob is out for 8 weeks. Keith Butler couldn't spell cat if you spotted him the C and the A. The Pittsburgh Steelers defense is so sorry that every opposing wide receiver should be fined $10,000 for the way they dump on our defensive backs. Every opposing quarterback sucks the blood out of our whole entire defense. Listen, I'm not here to hate. I'm just shooting straight. The Pittsburgh Steelers don't want to be great. They just want to be 8-8.
And every time you say that, Smoking Jim, they win 10 games.
Thank goodness for Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Baltimore.
So you're wrong again. Just like
He's got to find something that rhymes with 11.
Exactly.
Or
11
12
or 10.
or 10.
There's some other words out there, Smoker Jim. You know what? Smoker Jim talked bad about one of the greatest players to ever play. We have some clips. LeBron James. Smoker Jim, you talk so bad about this man. You're talking about the greatest of his era. And when he's done, he's going to go down as the greatest of all time. Bar none. He's going to win another championship with LA. And what he just did is something that what other people say the GOAT never did. Starting a school, 240 kids, third and fourth grade. He's paying for everything. If they graduate, he's paying for them to go to University of Akron. $41 million of his own money. What can you say about LeBron James? Just the greatest ever. You know, the family man. And I'm telling you, he's going to bring the Lakers a championship within 2 years. Guaranteed. You heard it here first. They're not going to do it this year. Golden State's loaded, but Lakers are back thanks to the GOAT.
If they get rid of Ball.
With Ball, whoever. If Ball doesn't fix up, they got Rondo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Magic said it's going to take him 2 years. I definitely support it. LeBron James, the greatest of all time. When he retires, there won't be any question. There's questions now because he doesn't have the rings. But after he gets 5 total in his career and has the all-time leading score, 10,000 rebounds and assists, something nobody else has done, there'll be no questions asked. Claudio?
I've been up and down about LeBron James on not on the court, off the court, but this was a great move on his part. And I always talk about the word impact.
What's his school like, DeBry? Where's he going to send him? They graduate in February? only thing LeBron James has proven in this offseason is that he is the next LeVar Ball. The way he does his kid. Like I said before, LeVar Ball is no different than every black father in America. And LeBron James has proven that with Bronny James or whatever. Was he in the line doing slams with the 12-year-olds? Let them get a shine. But black parents and your black parent, y'all can't help it.
Okay, Joe. There you go,
generalizing.
Anyway, back to sports.
I think he's doing a great thing with the school. He's having impact on people. I love Magic Johnson. Everybody knows me.
No jobs in Ohio.
I love Magic Johnson. He's one of my favorites as a player and his business accomplishments off the field. I don't think he should have drafted Ball. And the first thing about LeBron that I didn't like with the Lakers is he waited so long to get to meet Luke Walton. That I wasn't crazy about. I know I wouldn't like
Ball will make LeBron better.
Okay, you sound like LeVar Ball. I think you sound
like every black parent in America.
You're
I
LeVar
can hear
Ball.
my dad from the 50-yard line.
You know what? I think if we had LeVar Ball and Smoker Jim on the stage, we wouldn't know who was who because they both act the same. And they look the same according to Mike. All right, Claudia, introduce our guest.
All right. We have a very special guest here today. Some of you have gotten to know a little bit lately. And again, I appreciate people, what they do out of their respective sport more than what they do in their respective sport. Mike Manna, thank you so much. A professional boxing debut coming up August 18th. Very successful amateur career. And on top of that, good guy. Mike, thanks for joining the show, brother.
Thank you, man. I'm happy to be here, man. You've left out handsome, though. I mean, I got to put that in there.
He taught me a little Italian. He said migliore in Italian means the best.
Yeah, your boy.
Migliore, the best. Okay.
I didn't know that.
In some dialects, all right, all right. Mike, you have a big fight coming up, big event coming up August 18th, the Priory. But it's not just the fight that's attracting attention. It's what you're doing with with the purse. So tell us a little bit about that fight.
Yeah, pro debuts August 18th. To be honest, the way this started, man, I was running around North Park, and I was just zoning out, and I felt I wanted to turn pro for a little while, and I felt God put it in my heart to turn pro and do something better with the stage that I was going to be given. I said, all right, I'll do it, and bang, all this stuff's happened. I said, all right, I'm going to do something more with it than for myself. I wanted to donate to a different charity each time. I got a 3 pro fight deal. First charity is going to go to Children's Hospital. Second charity just came to me last week. It's a charity called SNAP for abused kids. And the third one, I'm not sure yet. I'm sure something will be
United Negro College Fund.
The United Negro College Fund. That's what we're going to do for it. And we're going to try to revive. I'm going to invest in Soul Glow. We're going to try to bring that back.
Bring it back.
And when you get it, give it to Jim. So he can stop wearing hats and do-rags. Bring it back. Real quick, how did you pick these charities? I know Children's Hospital, but what about SNAP? Did you resonate with that, or?
Yeah. That was something I wanted to do, and I was just in the hospital with a friend. No, I wasn't in the hospital. He was in the hospital. I was visiting my friend. And me as a kid, I went through some things as a kid myself.
Okay.
My stepdad, he smacked me around real good when I was a kid, and then my mom tried to take his head off with a fire poker, you know what I'm saying? And, move on a couple of years after that, man, I got sexually abused by a kid down the street from our crib, I carried that on my shoulder for a while, man. He was always a chip, always holding on to it, using it as excuse, really, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could be this, but, I'm going to hold on to things for excuses, you know what I'm saying? So, finally let that go and just started trying to do the right thing regardless of what happened to me, you know what I'm saying? And like, I work with kids a lot with boxing, and man, I think if you invest in the kids and you give everything back to, I have kids myself, and other kids will listen to me more than my own kids sometimes, but it's just, man, I look up to guys who have been through it and can talk to me from experience. Like my Uncle Mark Mackey, God bless him, man. He's the greatest.
We love him.
Yeah, he's a great guy for sure.
Man, he's been through his things, and he could tell you, like, nephew, don't do that. Like, you're getting me excited. My heart's pumping on the wrong side. That's the movie does. That's the movie does. And just talking to people who come up streetwise, been through this, been through that, they can talk to people who have been through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can talk to people who have been through my situation. What I'm going to do listening to Johnny College talking about, oh, you need to go to work and do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, my man, go ahead. Go talk to your professor. So I decided that I've been fighting amateur for however long. I've been fighting for free all these years. So, and I sell insurance now. I make a good living. I don't need the money from turning professional. I'm not going to make a career out of it. So I felt it was put in my heart to say, okay, let's use this stage to try to set an example. Like, I'll make a little bit of money off it, but it ain't going to be nothing crazy. I'll make more money for a charity, but the whole purpose is like, look, you can do the right thing. You can do things like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you give when you don't have, I think that's bigger than when you give and you do have. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, brother.
For sure.
So, like, I figure this, if I can put it out there, win, lose, or whatever happens, I already won. It already won. People are talking about, like, I'm going to buy a couple tickets and I'm going to donate too. I shared a post from a friend of mine.
Started a movement.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about,
yeah.
man. Like, so hopefully it becomes contagious. Like, you don't necessarily have to jump in the ring. I'm the only knucklehead that would probably do that.
Yeah.
But, man, hey, you see a kid having a bad day, holler at him or something like that, or you open a door for an old lady or something. Man, there's just too much nonsense out in the news today. And don't get me wrong, because nonsense happens out there. But like, man, if you start sharing good and putting good out, that's what's going to come around, and that's what's going to change everything, man. And hey, if I got to put my face out there to do it, I'm gonna do it. God gave me the strength of a good chin, so you know what I mean. That's how I do it. That's how I got the nickname the Bull. People like watching me fight. I don't particularly, because I'll take a lot of shots just to get the one knockout. You know what I mean? I have an old type of style of fighting that people miss, I guess.
So now this first fight, you do any? What about this guy you're fighting? Is he had a lot of?
It's changed a couple of times.
Okay.
A couple of guys were a little bit, I guess, weary of my amateur background. I'm not no great amateur or anything like that, but like I was always.
Well, that's your
picked.
style. It wasn't that you weren't
your
good.
style
Your
and
style is
experience,
different.
yeah.
Yeah.
Correct. My style has always been, I'm gonna keep coming.
Right.
That's just the way
It's
it
not
goes.
a point thing like an amateur's. Yeah.
No. So you know, I've always been picked just because of my work ethic. I remember 3 years ago when we fought the Irish, where Jim lost his mind.
Well, that happens every day. So that's,
No, but I did something that's never been done in the history of boxing, man. I knocked the guy out, and I lost.
oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, I never saw that. I would lose my mind, too.
It was crazy. Jim lost his mind. Everybody, what was his name? Bill Phillips.
Yeah.
He went crazy
Bill
too.
Phillips from Channel 11.
But like I got picked for these things just because of my work ethic. Like Mike Diven, the promoter for the fights, I mean, he was going crazy when we were training. You got all the young bucks doing their run tests like on 3 minutes. We would fight 3-3-minute rounds. So we would run the track for 3-3-minute rounds, break in between. So he's tripping. He's like, how is it that Mike Manna is 33 years old, running a little over a half a mile in 3 minutes, and you guys are just at 0.6 of a mile in front of him? How is this possible? So I just don't quit. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
We look forward to it. Hey, let's jump to the phone lines. Caller, say your name, where you're calling from.
Yeah, this is LD from the East End.
Hey,
LD.
I had a question to the fighter. What weight is he, and who will he be fighting?
Okay.
I'm fat, and no, I'm going to be fighting cruiserweight.
Okay.
That's under 200, 176 to 200, and I'll be fighting at the Priory in the North Side. Is that what you asked?
He said, who?
Oh, who? Marcus Williamson. He is
He's a black guy.
He's a brother, and I think he's from the Penn Hills area.
Oh, okay.
He has I think 1 or 2 MMA fights, as an MMA background.
Okay.
So
it should be action-packed. I mean, y'all going to be
Oh,
going
yeah.
back and forth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he trains at the
What's your
Penn Hills
best
Wild.
punch?
My best punch?
Yes.
Overhand right.
Okay, can you throw it at Jim?
I like that,
I also want to make my predictions for the Super Bowl. I think the Steelers will meet the Eagles, and the Steelers will win.
Did you hear my prediction, LD?
I heard your prediction.
Okay.
I think you must have smoked something before the show started.
Or maybe you might hit him. Maybe you might hit him, LD.
Right.
Maybe I knocked a
Hey, you
couple
got to
brain
realize
cells
this, LD. Now, you know I'm a professional gambler. LD, it's all set up for the Rams and the Raiders, and here's why the Raiders has a advantage. John Gruden is a much better coach than he used to be because he's the only coach in NFL history for the last 7 or 8 years have been able to watch the practice of every team
Like
in
Dick
the
Vermeil
league. Like Dick Vermeil, another Italian guy.
That's right.
Same thing, and I tell you what, man, that's a big advantage, man, and he's going to prove it. And he got Martavis Bryant, who I would
might get
have
suspended
kept
before the
him,
season.
and I would have traded Juju.
Bryant might get suspended before the year is over, Smoking
For
Joe.
what?
For the
For
same
what?
reason he got
For
suspended
what?
here. That was the
Super
rumor.
Bowl MVP.
I'm with you with Oakland. I'm
I'd
not
be
sure in the
surprised if
NFC
they
yet,
make the
though, but
playoffs, the Raiders.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
Let's bet. I got 50 cents on that.
All right. We're going to tie. All right, so LD, you got the Steelers and the Eagles.
Right.
Okay.
And if Jim's picks make the Super Bowl, I'll give Jim $100.
Hey, thanks, LD.
Because we all know if Jim picks it, go against him, you might win some money.
Hey, LD, you agree with James Harrison that Mike Tomlin's teams lack discipline?
I think James Harrison should go retire and never play again.
He sounded like a bitter old man.
Sound like the truth to me.
He sounded like a bitter old man. First of all, Tomlin was the only guy that gave him a chance. He got cut 6 times before Tomlin finally said, you keep coming back, we can't get rid of you, we'll give you a try. He got cut by the Ravens numerous times, the Steelers kept coming back.
The year before that, he had 3 sacks against Cleveland.
Harrison got cut numerous times. The only one that gave him a chance was Tomlin. And
Coach
this is how,
Cowher.
and this is how he does it. He stabs him in the back. He was never starting under Cowher.
The year before that,
He
when Joey,
never
you
started
remember
under
when Joey
Cowher.
Porter fought in Cleveland and got kicked out the game? Harrison had 3 sacks.
Yes, yes.
But he didn't
He
start.
didn't start. Who gave him a start? Tomlin.
Yeah, because Joey Porter left.
Joey
he got
Porter
shot in the
got
butt. He got shot in the butt on his
and
way
went
out.
after that money in Miami. I don't like the way he did it. He was sleeping in meetings. Part of the reason he didn't have discipline because of James Harrison last year. He wasn't playing, was a terrible teammate. He didn't help T.J. Watt, didn't help Bud Dupree, all because he wasn't
Another
playing.
black-on-black crime.
Horrible teammate because he wasn't playing.
He's a great guy, man. Don't dump
He's a
on
bum.
Harrison.
He's a bum.
He's a
Don't ever
talented
come back. Don't say you're a Steeler for life. You went to New England and you talked trash on your old teammates and your coach.
And he went to the
that's
Super
done.
Bowl. He went
And
to the Super
lost.
Bowl.
And he lost. And that's what he gets. Hey, LD, thanks for the call.
Thanks,
Anything
LD.
else?
Okay.
Anything else,
Anything else,
LD?
LD? All right.
Guess not.
Smoker Jim said something and he hung up. Hey, number to call, 231-2288. Give us a call. Give us your predictions. Let us know what you think. We're going to get back to our guests now. Now, who else is on this card fighting?
Llewellyn McClamey, the
He can fight.
yeah,
Remind
yeah,
me of
yeah.
Sugar Ray Robinson.
Yeah, he got
He
some
really
skills.
does. Yeah.
Sugar Ray. Well, Jim, now when you start throwing all these crazy compliments out there,
McGregor was
Sugar
Roy
Ray
Jones and
Robinson.
He reminds me of a Sugar Ray Robinson, man.
All
He
right.
does got skills.
Yeah.
Who else, Mike?
Lubomir Pinchuk,
I don't know him.
he's one of the Ukrainians, and then
okay.
the other one, Oleg, I can't prounce his
But the
last
two
name.
Ukrainians.
forgive me.
We saw them fight before.
Yeah, the two
Okay.
Ukrainians.
He reminds me of
JT.
Muhammad Ali.
He's Klitschko.
He's Klitschko,
He's the
right.
next Klitschko. We got
And
the next two
Marciano wrapped
Klitschkos.
up.
Right. And JT Brackett and
JT's
JT's
back.
fighting again.
He didn't
Jordan
retire.
Zalacki. No, he didn't.
Wow.
He's back for more.
Yeah, he's back for more, man.
Hey, you fall off the horse, you get right back on, right?
He fell pretty hard. He fell off something.
Lucky punch.
Okay.
It was a hard punch for sure.
I hope he has a better showing because that was a nasty knockoff.
That was a
whole-
nasty fall.
That whole thing was ugly. So, hey, number to call 412-231-2288. Let's hope it's a lot better. But we saw who else fought on that card that was pretty impressive. Lamar Johnson had an exciting fight.
Yeah.
And he had a guy that just kept coming.
Yeah.
I thought the guy was going to get knocked out, but he kept coming. So that was impressive. I enjoyed that. So it should be a good card. We had a lot of fun at the Priory last time,
We
right,
I
Joe?
did, I know that.
And it'll be extra special because now we got Mike hooked up with us and a little connection there.
Yeah,
Let me ask you, now
absolutely.
you said 3 fights. You think you're going to go further in 3? I bet you do.
I probably will.
It's in his blood. It's
Yeah.
in his blood.
I mean, that's one of the reasons why I turned pro, too, because I can't go back to amateur. You know what I mean?
course.
You know, I was going to turn pro about 3-4 years ago, and then, the Irish, I was the only one they called out by name. They weren't very pleased with me whooping their heavyweight the first year.
Something I don't know, maybe you'll know or Jim will know. You know how they have the West Virginia state champion? Do they have something like that in Pennsylvania as well?
Yeah, Golden Gloves.
Well, no, I'm talking about professional.
Your buddy will make a belt for anything.
If you give him money,
You know what? Hey,
Ron
we should
Scout.
make a Steel City belt for the
you go.
local guys.
That's coming up.
There you
Let's
go,
do
Luke.
that.
Yeah,
Let's
there's a
do
lot
that.
of things I'm talking about doing when I retire completely. You know, I want to bring the diamond belts back, man. I want to bring
love that. I
boxing back to Pittsburgh, man, because
big history here.
yeah, man. I mean, there were so many tough dudes that came out here. I mean, Harry Grubb was 45-0 in 1 year, man.
I didn't think about that.
That is crazy.
That's you talk about things
That's
never
a
be
career
oh my
for some
God.
people,
Yeah.
right? Hey, but let's jump to the phone lines. They're jumping. Call us, say your name, where you're calling from.
Hi, this is Donna from Homewood.
Hey, how you doing,
Hello.
Donna?
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great,
Good,
great.
good.
What's on your mind, Donna?
Oh, good show. I have 3 quick things. The first thing, I think Magic Johnson and LeBron James will make a good team. Magic Johnson has that Aspire station, and LeBron James is getting into the entertainment field. So I think they will probably collaborate on that. It doesn't have to do with sports, but I'm just saying I think that they'll
No,
make
you're
a
right.
great team
You're right.
together.
You're right. Yeah, that's a great connection. No better mentor to have than Magic.
That's
I mean,
for
he's
sure.
done his thing.
Right.
You know, since
Right.
he
Yeah,
left
LeBron
the
can
NBA.
play in the Predator too.
Here you go. Quit the hate on LeBron. He's taking over, Jim. He's taking
I know,
over.
he's yeah, he is the king, LeBron. But the second thing I wanted to say was the Bull, right? Your name is the Bull, the boxer.
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Did you ever partake in any therapy to get over the abuse you went through?
Yeah, I went to see a counselor about a therapist a little over a year or so ago. They tried getting me in it in school, because I'd always fight all the time, and everybody wanted to talk about why I was so angry. I wasn't ready to tell them why I was so angry,
Right.
But
And-
I went to seek out therapy. Really got help from my church. My therapist, great lady, helped me through everything, and I'm the fine gentleman you see now in front of you.
Oh,
No, I
okay.
mean I'm still messed up. I mean, what are you gonna do? We're human.
We all are.
Right.
We're all a work in progress.
Absolutely.
Right, right. Well, when you go around and talk to people, do you emphasize that? Because there are so many people who need that mental health.
Yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, my church did a story on me, and my pastor, I was like, man, talk about anything you want to, because if my story can help at least one person,
Right.
I mean, forget about it. It's worth it to me. He told him how, I went to therapy, and he's, a lot of people think like, oh, you're weak if you go to therapy. It's like, no, that's not the case. I mean, you got to be strong to ask for help. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Sometimes you don't know what to do. Your back's up against the wall, and you got to ask for help. So I spent some time talking to my therapist, and she diagnosed me as crazy. No, but it came out good. It was all great. We still talk, and just try to get better every day. To always try to do the right thing.
That's good. That's good. And the last thing I wanted to say was, do you, in this field that you're in, do you ever worry about concussions and things like that?
No, I brain just fine. Yeah, of course I do. I definitely do. But, this is going to sound weird to say this, but, I'm not one of those people that go around and just say like, oh, God told you this. But listen, God blessed me to be able to take some shots, and I believe this is what it's for. So
Okay.
I'm gonna use this to my advantage and get in and use the spotlight for something bigger than myself.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck. Keep up the good work, and thank you for the charities that you're going to help. And guys, keep up the good work on the show. I enjoyed it.
Thanks for calling.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks a lot,
Yeah,
Donna.
thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Is Durant is the king now, right? What you say?
LeBron, King James.
I mean, back-to-back MVP of the championship.
Yeah, you
That's
jump
the
on the
thing, that's the
bandwagon at 73 and 19. That's different.
He's better than LeBron.
He's not better than LeBron. He wouldn't have had to jump on
was on a
that
better
team if he was
team.
better. He's on a great team,
Yeah.
one of the greatest teams of all time.
He'd have jumped
Anyway,
on
let's
Miami
go
with
back to
LeBron.
boxing. We know you don't know basketball, so let's get back on some boxing real quick. But she brings up a good point. Now this your first. You're going to be in the ring, no headgear.
This is technically my second time with no headgear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we fought internationally against Italy. I don't know why, but in all of Europe and I believe Mexico too, when you're an elite fight, I don't mean elite like my style's elite, but I mean like when you're over 18 and you're an open fighter over
Right.
10 fights, there's no headgear. I like that rule.
Me too.
Yeah,
I hate
here's-
that rule.
Here's the reason why I like that rule, because if you're gonna try to go forward in this sport, you need to know what it's like to take the headgear off. So I like that rule because it's just for the fights. Now me, I've sparred without headgear before because I get complacent when I have the headgear on, and I'll take more shots than what I should. Although Paul Spadafore just yelled at me about it. He's like, you gotta wear headgear, man. You can get a cut, you can break it. And I was like, all right, yeah,
Well,
you're
I was
right.
only a general studies major. What's complacent mean?
Like I get,
Relax, comfortable.
relax.
Go to school, kids.
I gotta Google that.
Go to school, kids.
That's right. Go to school.
Big
Go to
words,
LeBron
man.
James.
LeBron
Go to
James
LeBron
school.
James' school.
Don't end up like Jill.
Let me ask Spadafore what it means, man.
So this will be the second time I fought without the headgear though.
So you think you fight better, more smarter, or what? Would your style
Oh,
go change? Defensively?
defensively, my hands are up more, and it was funny, man. The dude from Italy, he said it in Italian, but he's like, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 35, and he's like, man, he's like, you had breath like a young kid. He's like, you fight like a professional. You come in, take my shot. He's like, I hit you so hard, and you just kept coming forward. I didn't know what was going on.
Right.
Thank you.
You need me to translate for you.
Yeah.
Hey, no, we do you follow the heavyweights that are currently fighting?
Yeah.
Have you been-
I like them, not as much as I did in the 90s. But I'll tell you what, if Tyson Fury and
Deontay
Wilder
Wilder.
could
December.
go at it, oh my God, that's going to be
You
beautiful.
think it's gonna be a good fight?
It'll be entertaining.
It'll be entertaining. I think Wilder's gonna blow him out.
I think
Wilder
Fury's going
couldn't
to go down
have
in
beat
8.
Fury in his prime. I don't know. Fury.
Prime,
We
he-
don't know.
He
Listen,
fought in 2 years.
He fought,
He ain't
yeah,
fought in 2 years.
His prime is when he beat Klitschko,
Yeah.
and then he left for 2 years. And then he
Klitschko
just
didn't
came
throw a
back and
punch.
fought
Wilder
Wilder.
wouldn't have beat him then.
Klitschko
They were
didn't throw a
supposed to
punch.
fight next, and Fury got so scared he ran into all kinds of drugs and everything. That's what Deontay Wilder does to you.
He makes you
hear me?
take drugs.
And he never leaves Alabama.
Listen, he tried to go overseas. Look at Anthony Joshua. He ran away from
How'd he
52
try? How'd
million.
he try? They never played.
He
for
ran
Alabama.
away from $52 million, Smoking Jim.
That's
And
what
offered
you
him
said.
8. And then they countered him and said, I'll pay you 8.
Who'd you hear that from? Jet Magazine?
It's they had the papers.
BET.
I heard it from Shelley Finkel. Shelley Finkel. But listen,
Le'Veon
all I'm
Bell's
saying,
agent.
look who they're fighting next. Deontay Wilder, who I think fought the second toughest heavyweight in Luis Ortiz.
Off of
And now-
steroids.
And now he's fighting Tyson Fury. Now, who is Anthony Joshua fighting?
Well,
Bum Joshua Parker,
Bum.
and now he's fighting Povetkin.
Is
Another
there
bum.
Come
Klitschko?
on,
A bigger
another
bum.
guy
A
who
bigger
uses
bum.
Is there
roids.
Klitschko
A bigger
on
bum.
He's
there?
retired, Jim. Keep up, baby. He's retired.
Yeah, but
He's
he
been
fought
retired
him. You
for
said
years.
who'd he fight?
Klitschko wouldn't fight him.
Huh?
Klitschko didn't want to fight him.
I said Joshua fought Klitschko.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
but you
His
got-
last fight.
And he's
his
Olympic
last
gold
fight.
medalist.
His
and he holds
Jim,
4 belts.
We know about the
And he
Olympic
holds
belt.
4 belts.
Okay.
And he gets
And he's
120,000 people.
And he's running away from
He gets
Deontay Wilder. Say
120,000
that.
people at his fight.
So real quick, why won't he accept a fight with Wilder in his own backyard?
Wilder didn't sign the contract.
Because it was not a good deal.
Oh my goodness.
Was it?
Oh my.
Listen.
Was it?
Oh
Listen,
my.
Out of Anthony Joshua's mouth, give me $50 million outside tomorrow. He gets the offer. Oh, I want to fight in the UK. That's how quickly it changed. He was on an interview and said, I'll fight him for $50 million.
You speak
Al
English.
Heyman-
You
Al
speak English
Heyman
in
offered it
Ebonics.
to
You
him.
don't know his
Al
language.
Heyman said, I'll give you $50 million. And what happened? He ran and said, I want to fight in the UK. I'll offer you $8 million. That's an insult. That's a $100 million
I think he's waiting
fight.
for Wilder to get hit a little bit, so his skills have diminished a little bit.
Wilder's old. He's
He's
34
scared.
years old. He still ain't
scared.
fighting nobody.
Anthony
He's
Joshua's
tough.
scared.
He's 215 pounds, 213 pounds, and
And
6'7".
and he hits like a truck.
And he'll never get it. I told you he ain't getting in there with Anthony Joshua.
Because Anthony Joshua's run. But pretty soon he's going to have to stop running because Deontay Wilder has beaten everybody.
Ooh, yeah. You're Olympic gold medalist, but you're running.
Why didn't he fight him yet?
He would have fought him in the Olympics if he didn't get knocked out.
I think, you know what? I think you
You
put a
and
little
this
bit too
Olympic
much.
stuff.
I want to ask Mike's opinion on that. I think you put a little bit too much
Way too
emphasis on the amateur stats. Like, for example, in
Yeah,
football.
Foreman, Ali, Frazier.
Right, those guys are exceptions.
Stevenson, Tefillo
He's
Stevenson.
interpret.
Roy
Dwayne
Jones,
Bobbitt.
Roy Jones,
Okay,
one of the
let me ask you
greatest.
this.
What happened to him? What happened to him in the Olympics?
Booba Mancini didn't have a great amateur career because that wasn't his style. But it's like this: it's who you fight. It's your style of fighting. But that's just like in football. There's guys who tear it up in college. They go to the pro. They become bums.
And how
I
much
see
did
it
you
in college
improve?
base. Yeah,
Joshua's undefeated. What are you talking about?
He's been nitpicking the right opponent.
Pick him.
He's trying to fight Dillian White
Besides-
again.
yeah. You
Dillian
serious?
White, tough guy.
Yes, that's
He
the
tough
next
guy.
fight they're setting up for April.
Again?
tough
Oh yeah,
guy.
yeah, my fault. Yeah, right.
For April.
He a tough guy.
Okay. All right, well, we got that again. Number to call, 412-231-2288.
Let the guest answer a question every now and
Listen,
again.
we just got to get it out there because people want to hear what we're talking about. 412-231-2288. We got the champ. Mike is here, the bull. He's making his pro debut, giving it all to charity. You know, that's really respectable. I definitely respect that. And he has Paul Spadafore in his camp. What's that like training with Paul? I mean,
Another hard worker.
Paul was right at the
originally
cusp.
started training me.
Okay.
When I first started boxing. So that's kind of why I have the style that I have.
Okay.
I have more of a professional style. I'll catch the rhythm. And everything with Paul, it's all about rhythm and timing. Like I'll never forget when I was a kid, I walked into Hogan's gym. I'm about to tell this story all the time. Grandmaster Flash was playing, man, The Message.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
So Paul's in there, he's in the ring. All right, The Message is playing, he's like, just popping and locking on this kid, whap, 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 and then just walk away. I thought that was the coolest thing I ever seen in my life, right? So he started telling me, like, every move you make is on rhythm.
Okay.
Like, even when you catch, like, ha, 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 like, ha, wah, wah, wah. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just hearing things from him, and I'm like, him putting it down to me, I'm like, how, like, at this fight, like, how did you know he was going to throw this? He's like, because I put myself in a position where that was the only thing he could throw. You know what I'm saying? So just him being with him and him putting me through different things that he learned off of Jesse Reed and all kinds of other people. Pernell Whitaker trained him for a long time. Okay. It was interesting. Like, it opens your eye to things that you didn't even think of before, you know?
Okay. Yeah, because you hear a lot of stuff. I'm glad he's training you. I mean, do you think he's going to, continue with this? And maybe, I mean, he has so much experience. He was on the cusp of greatness.
Yeah.
And sparred Floyd Mayweather and looked good.
Beat Floyd.
Yeah, a great sparring session,
He'd have beat him in the ring back then, too.
I would have liked to have seen it.
Yeah, I'll guarantee he would have, because Floyd's thing is he makes people fight his fight. Now, if you watch when he fought Zab Judah was giving him it a little bit, right? Till he got in Zab Judah's head, and then Zab hit him low, and then Floyd Sr. jumped in to kill him.
Then the dads got in there.
That should have been a disqualification right there on Floyd's part.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. But so Paul, his thing, his whole career was just he was slick and he could pop and move.
He couldn't get hit.
And and he didn't get hit. And when people would he's the only guy I ever seen in professional boxing. There's someone to try to kick him twice in the ring. Once was in Florida, the guy got disqualified, and then the other one was his comeback fight at the Harv in West Virginia. The guy kicked him. I'm like, I can't believe this. But they'll look at him like they'll get popped, and they'll just be like this, like, and he'll be like, bop, 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 wow, and just because he knows I ain't gonna chase after you, you know. So that's always been his style, and I think that if he would have been on his game, Floyd, nah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
100%.
I wish we could have seen it.
That'd been
man.
nice.
I wish we could have seen it. Hopefully, some of these young guys that are coming up, they can really take it to the next level. I mean, I know you guys have been following them in the Golden Gloves. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe we'll see some on the 18th.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'll be real nice. Again, number to call, 412-231-2288. Real quick, I want to change up subjects because I know we got the high school season starting up pretty soon before our next show. Anybody we should be watching out for, Smoker Jim High School this year?
Well,
I got a couple guys I want to know.
I'm not going to. I always in the newspaper I always put the Smoking Jim's Nifty 50, which is always on point. But look for already the guy I really like is R.J. Hart.
Oh yeah.
And because his dad didn't transfer him to Gateway, his '89 Perry football team will never get in the City League Hall of Fame as long as I'm on the committee.
Oh, hey.
See what I said about Hall of Fame voters?
Yeah.
See what I mean? They hold those grudges.
Personal.
But his quarterback this year
Izzy Reed.
is Izzy Israel Reed.
We got some footage on Israel Reed, yeah.
He's going to throw 50 touchdowns this year.
Okay. He's going to throw 50 touchdowns,
50
Jim?
touchdowns this year. That's my prediction. And I think Stowe Rocks will win it all with Coach Fran. Leroy Johnson's doing some great things.
Hold on, you said they're going to win it all.
Yeah, Stowe Rocks will win it all.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, Jim, that's another wrong prediction. Although I like them to do well, but come on, they won 4 games last year.
Huh?
They're not going to win it this year.
They got Coach Fran.
I understand that.
Coach Fran is the man.
Yeah,
Coaching is a very.
But they lost a lot of talent. I mean, that whole area is. We'll
talent?
see.
What
We'll
talent?
see. We'll see what happens. I mean, you said Stowe Rocks.
Nobody ever leaves McKee's Rocks, man. That's the bottoms. Where they going? Where they going from there?
You know they don't have Brendan Blair and Lenny anymore, right? You know that, right? This is a different year, right, Smoker Jim? But what about Gateway? What about the Courtney Jackson?
They'll dominate it. Jackson, you know what? The surprising thing, I talked to a lot of college scouts, and they all talked to me about Gateway, of course. But Jackson
that's all you
is
talk
fast. He's one of the fastest 100-meter dash guys in the WPIL. Good basketball player, excellent hands. And this guy pretty much rewrote the record books last year. He's being recruited by everybody. So Jackson should do
Pitt?
good. We did a great job of recruiting him in.
Isn't he going?
going
I
after
thought he
him?
made a verbal to
Pitt?
Syracuse.
Yeah.
He's going to Syracuse.
Is he?
Yeah, I mean,
okay. Yeah, I know
he's
he's
verbal.
been. Yeah. Okay. I didn't see the verbal, but
Then of course you mentioned him, his dad earlier, Joey Porter Jr.
he's great.
know?
They had him last year playing mainly as cornerback. He was a shutdown cornerback, but he's a great receiver. I tell you, another guy that's good is Dino Tomlin.
Oh yeah.
But Coach Tomlin's youngest son, check him out, reminds me of Allen Iverson on the basketball court. He's only a sophomore. He's a great rapper. He raps with Le'Veon Bell. And in football, they can't hit him. He's small. What's it, Macy or something? Macy Tomlin? I forget. They ran out of names, I guess, when it came to him. But he look for him. He's going to be outstanding.
Corey
too.
Thomas out of Penn Hills, transferred in from Central Catholic. That should be a name that people should know. 6'4", 200-pound receiver.
Never heard of him.
Well, you'll hear about him this year. He's from Central. He's definitely going to make big noise. Penn Hills is back.
Their quarterback
Penn
is
Hills
nice.
is back.
They got
So-
Tank Smith
Tank Smith
that
will be
they
back.
stole from Monroeville.
Here you go.
Terry Smith.
He's in Penn Hills, Jill.
His uncle coaches Penn State, Terry Smith.
Okay.
Tank is outstanding, and the quarterback's great, man. Great running black quarterback out there. What's the chances of a black quarterback being able to run? Where have we ever seen that
Always,
before?
Jim. Mike Coleman, the cornerback out of Woodland Hills. He should be pretty nice.
Never
5'10",
heard of him.
175.
Never heard of him.
We'll look for him. You'll hear about him this year.
He
All
won't
right?
make my
So-
nifty 50.
And
How
I'm
about
here-
Dallas? Is Dallas still around? Brian Dallas from Central?
He's still around. Brian Dallas, this should be his year. Look for him to have about 12, 13 sacks.
Jermaine Stevens' son still out there 400 pounds, or he in college now?
Anyway, that's the high school. Make sure we'll be at a lot of games this year. Give us some love when you see us out there. City League.
Anything from the city?
City League, Brashear is going to be strong this year. I know their offensive line coach.
For some
a
reason,
lot
I
of
love
talent.
Alderdice.
Alderdice will be strong, but look for Brashear and maybe you prep to meet in the championship. I'm thinking Alderdice will be
Did
there as
Carrick
well.
drop football?
That was the rumor, but I think they're going to have a team this year.
The
That's the
Raiders?
rumor. I think. I heard that.
All you need is 11.
All you need is 11.
Hey, the Raiders, you only need 11, baby.
Hopefully they get 11. Hopefully they get 20.
Just
at
win,
least.
baby. Just
But
win.
listen, Westinghouse didn't have a whole lot for years before they merged with Wilkinsburg.
That helped. That
You know that?
helped.
Oh yeah. So they'll
That
they'll be in contention as well. So again, number to call 412-231-2288.
And don't forget, Amir Dudley's son's going to be starting for Central Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely got to do that. So we wanted to give a little bit about that. Anything on the Steelers, Jim? I know you gave your little hit piece earlier.
Well, I know Darrell Revis, I think, is coach at Aliquippa this year.
Well, he retired. Hall of Fame career. He ended it.
Yeah, he quit.
He retired. He put in his.
Man, he didn't get his money. He could play safety. He quit, man.
He's
quit on
done.
us,
He
man.
put in his time, Smoker Jim.
But who predicted when he was on high school on this stage, when he was on our show, all them greats we had on the stage, nobody heard of Darrell Revis, and I said, this is the one going to the NFL. You remember that? You got it on tape?
I remember I was the one who invited him. Smoker Jim. I got him to the show.
Yeah, you did.
And you made that prediction, which we all knew.
Oh,
Come on.
He went on a limb.
He
went on a limb.
6 touchdowns in the state championship game.
Who was the one that had a 1.5 grade point average for Penn Hills at quarterback? He was there. You all liked him.
You always gotta throw somebody
What's
under,
his name?
Jim.
You remember him?
I'm not saying his name. I invited him. He's going to the Hall of Fame, just like we
No,
had-
he ain't going. He ain't better than Ty Law, and Ty Law ain't in yet. Ty Law won 3 championships.
Wait, you said Darrell
Ty Law
Revis
is
is
better
not.
than Darrell Revis,
Stop
man.
it. Stop it. You're saying Darrell Revis isn't going to the Hall of Fame?
I think Lay was even better than him, but he never made the pros.
Who?
Josh Lay.
Josh Lay.
Josh Lay.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
I can't.
5 years from now, we'll be going up to Canton to see him.
Quitters
give us
don't
to
get
give
my
us the-
vote. I hope I'm gonna.
He retired.
I
There's
got
a
a
difference.
Heisman Trophy vote. You want my Heisman Trophy pick? I usually
Jim, the last
send my
4
vote
years
in.
you've been wrong. Give us another wrong pick, Smoker Jim. Who's winning? Who's going to
Last
from
year
Baylor.
I predicted Barkley would win. Saquon Barkley.
And you were wrong.
I was wrong
Wrong
on
again,
that.
4 years in a row.
I
like
don't wait
said.
to the end of the year. Anybody can wait to the end of the year to vote.
Okay,
I
I'm
put my vote in the
we call him
preseason.
Steve Smoking Beano Cook.
He did. Remember the kid from Baylor who didn't play a snap? The kid who
That
didn't play a
Baylor
snap.
quarterback.
Yeah,
Well, I seen him in spring ball.
where is he at now? Where is he? For
Is he
real?
in the league?
Where is he?
He got hurt, man. He can't get over that injury, man.
Yeah, you also said Pryor was going to win 2 or 3 Heismans, right?
Man, if he
Terrell
didn't get
Pryor.
kicked, if he didn't get kicked,
If he didn't get
he
all
was
them
a
tattoos.
two-time BCS MVP, BCS game MVP.
There's a lot of guys.
So was I.
There's a lot of guys who were MVP. That's not a
Not a
Heisman.
BCS.
All right, man. Good. Where's he at now anyway, Terrell? Who'd he sign with? Or is he still looking?
Did he go to
I
Baltimore?
think huh?
He didn't go to Baltimore.
I can't remember, man. Google it.
We're going to have to. I mean, that's your boy. You're his agent. I thought you would know where he was at, Smoking Jim.
They're mad at him in Jeanette because he never leaves a tip. He's like Big Ben Roethlisberger. Them brothers don't leave tips, man. I guess when you're over 6'5", you don't leave a tip.
They got them alligator.
Real quick, I do want to hit the Steelers real quick before we wrap up and hit this
mean the
call.
oh.
Linebackers, Jordan Bostic, Vince Williams.
Bums.
I knew he was going to say that about Williams.
Stone Cold Steve
What
Austin.
about Boston?
Huh?
If he can stay healthy, you don't think he'd be solid
I like
back
Dirty
there?
Red. If Dirty Red didn't have red here, he'd be a starter already. I like Dirty Red, man. Reverse discrimination is the
Oh,
there ain't no
gosh.
there
If
ain't
he
no
can't-
white cornerbacks in NFL. Now you won't let a redhead guy play middle
Jim,
linebacker.
we're talking about Jordan Bostic. You got to tell him
Bostic's a bum. He's only here because he's Pouncey's friend. The last Pouncey friend committed suicide in jail.
Oh, my God. All right, let's get to the phone lines, Jim. Here you go with this mess. Caller, say your name.
How did he
Who you
connect-
calling
how did he
from?
connect
I
that?
have no idea how he did that. Say your name. Where you
Smoking
calling
Jim.
from?
There
Hey,
you go again.
is that Kelly?
Yes, it is. It's
What's up,
Kelly
Kelly?
Wilson. That's
Hey,
why I
buddy.
say Smoking Jim, there you go again.
Right. Bring us back home, Kelly.
You know something? I've always wondered who exactly is Dirty Red, just because all I ever hear the person refer to is Dirty Red. So what is Dirty Red's real name? This shows you how much out of it I am when it comes to football.
What is it, Mark Tavius? He played at Temple. What's his name?
I don't know.
Matakavich.
Tyler
Matakavich is
Matakavich.
Dirty Red.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tyler
okay.
Matakavich, yeah.
Okay.
I
Hey,
thought you were talking about the original
Hey, when
Dirty
you
Red.
can't pronounce them long white names, you just give them a nickname. Dirty Red, Foo.
Anything over 6 letters, Jim has trouble with. Tyler
that is-
Palomalo, he still screws that up.
He calls him Troy.
Hey, I just learned Claudio's name last week.
And you already call him his first name. Hey, what's on your mind, Kelly?
Well, since y'all talking about the Steelers, let's talk about the Steelers. And where do I really begin with this team? Do I begin with the running back who's out in the strip club with interesting strippers?
Making it rain.
Who can't sign his deal?
Hold on, Kelly.
Forget him.
Kelly, they lowball. They
They
lowball.
low. No. Well, Luther, I'm just going to put this. When it comes to Le'Veon Bell, you and I are in disagreement. Because I don't think they should pay him.
Woo. No, listen, I said if you're not going to pay him, trade him.
Yes.
I said if you knew you were going to give him a lowball offer, they should have traded him and got a draft pick. Now,
I can
when
agree
he's-
with you on that.
Now when he comes in, he's going to be upset. He doesn't have a contract. He's going to be worried about getting injured. It's just a bad situation. If they weren't going to pay him, they should have traded him. I don't see him being real good in the locker room when he comes back. He's posting
considering
pictures in the strip club. Not a
Yeah.
good look already.
What's
Well,
wrong with the
him not
strip
being
club?
good in the locker room is nothing new with that locker room
your
right
team
around
is
now.
in training camp.
Jimmy
and you
G,
making it rain. I
Jimmy
knew
G
you
is
bring him
dating
up.
the stripper.
He wasn't in the strip club. He had his
Right.
own. He had
Took
his
her to
own
a nice
party.
restaurant.
Anyway, go
how
ahead,
we
man.
do
My
it.
fault. About
No, you're all right.
about
I'm just saying, considering what I feel about that locker room and the dysfunction I feel with that team in the locker room, Le'Veon Bell getting the boo-boo face because he's not getting paid. Dude, you're getting paid $14 million. A majority of the fans that come see you play or watch you play might not even see a tenth of that money in their lifetime. Know your role, shut your mouth, and go play football.
Kelly, do you think it's going to be a lack of focus? For me, it's the Steelers are going to I don't think they're going to have a good season. I shouldn't say good. I think they're 9-7, something like that. I think it's going to be due to lack of focus.
I don't know if I want to say lack of focus, but to me, it still comes down to that one team that y'all want to run your mouths about, or at least your coach wants to run your mouth about, that we should see them in the championship. And until I can see you actually beat that team up north, in my mind, when it comes to the AFC, it doesn't matter.
That's every team in the NFL pretty much. The NFL, the New England's been running the whole league, locking it down like Jordan did in the NBA for years. I mean, so it's not just the Steelers. I mean, somebody has to figure out how to beat New England.
But I think they have the ability to do it. But I still think the lack of focus, they get distracted. They have this and the helicopters, and this guy's holding out.
Listen, the
I think
offense
that
has to come to play. Philadelphia had a great defense, and what happened? They gave up 40 points.
Again, I think they have the ability. I just think it's a lack of focus. I think there's too many distractions from within.
Hey, Kelly.
Yep.
Listen, Jacksonville was just a better team last year. Let's flat out. And they're probably going to be the better team this year. If you're looking for a team to beat New England, I think it's the Jacksonville Jaguars.
But the thing with Jacksonville is I still don't trust their quarterback.
Exactly.
Well,
Right.
what happened last year, he changed his throwing motion. If you look at towards the end of the season, he started throwing the ball better. He'll be throwing the ball
what
great
happened
this year.
is Leonard Fournette happened for him.
exactly.
And teams were loading the box with 8 guys, and he had one-on-one coverage. That's what happened.
When he
This-
scored 45 on the Steelers, who did that?
Was that Fournette crushing them?
No,
They
that
couldn't
looked like
stop
the
the run. That
quarterback-
looked like the
quarterback.
running back opened it up, and then they had to put more in the box, and then he made a couple throws. But it was all about Fournette. And he was hurt.
And
I
let's
couldn't
not forget
imagine what a
about quarterback
healthy
with
Fournette would have
key
done.
turnovers again.
Oh, of course. Of course. That early turnover was a dagger, Kelly. You're right.
Another
But
black
here's-
and gold excuse.
No, what's the excuse? It's the truth.
It's a turnover, Jim.
Yeah.
What's the excuse?
Yeah,
He turned the ball over, they converted.
Yeah, y'all
That's
said
not an excuse, it's the truth.
y'all said it'd be done when Mendenhall left. Fumbling Mendenhall. Now there's another fumbling. Y'all got
Spin and
more
fall.
excuses.
You
Y'all
mean
got more
Rashard
excuses.
spin and fall?
Spin and fall. I haven't heard that one,
Hey,
man.
the bottom line is this. When Santonio Holmes got backstabbed and moved out of Pittsburgh, he put a curse on the team. They'll never
smoked his
win
way
another
out.
Super Bowl until they make amends with Santonio Holmes. He put a curse on him.
Santonio Holmes is back in the fold, but he smoked his way out back
He
then. Jim.
spoke at Stone Rocks High School where they got 18
He
seniors.
smoked his way out and went to the
Come
Jets and got
on.
paid.
Wait,
But
he's
now
back
he's
in the
back in the
fold.
fold. He's back in the
How?
fold.
He's
He's
back
doing
in the
stuff for
fold.
the Steelers now.
Man, he put a
Was it
curse on them.
Claudio-
He's doing some charities and stuff for them.
The event that you didn't come to us
That's
with,
right.
the celebrity golf tournament.
I forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot.
of course. But he's back with the
He's
Steelers.
back- he's back in
Exactly.
town.
He just
Yeah.
did the bowling conference. Anyway, Kelly, man.
You
all
got
this
Luther
fake-
frustrated
All this
now.
fake news that Jim is talking about, man.
But I
fake
will say, I think
Jim.
Smoke and Jim did make a good point. I will agree that Jacksonville was the better team on both occasions because they basically outmuscled the Steelers and ran the ball right down the throat.
That
They
offensive
came out with a
line
great
is
good.
nasty, yeah.
Yeah, they came out with a great good game plan, attacking the weakness in that Steelers defensive line that day.
Defensive line, linebackers, they just owned them. They just punished them. And I don't know if they did enough to address that linebacker situation.
The Steelers will be better on defense this year with 8 safeties.
A bunch of rovers.
on, soft and cheesy.
Right,
They're
Kelly,
going-
bunch of rovers.
They're going to change up the game plan. Butler has something up his sleeve that we haven't seen before.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot
Let's
of people
hope.
around here just waiting to see it.
Let's hope.
Keith Butler couldn't spell cat. You spotted him the C and the A. Now all of a sudden he's a genius.
They drafted Terrell Edmonds pretty high, so we'll see if he,
Yeah,
he
because
gets
Coach
in there.
Tomlin used to date his mom. Here's a guy that
There you
was
go
supposed to
with
go in
this
the
fake
fourth
news.
round. He's supposed to go in the fourth round. We drafted him in the first. He was in the bathroom when they picked him. He wasn't even expected. They
his
can
mom.
put down the Charmin. You just got picked.
All right, TMZ, calm down, man. He used to date his mom. Come on, man.
he comes up with some stuff, doesn't he?
They both from Newport News, Virginia.
Oh, gosh. All right, man. Kelly, what else you got, man, before Jim spreads some more fake news?
I
Some
have
gossip.
no idea.
I'm not getting sued behind you again, Jim.
I've been suspended before by the FCC.
Oh man, I wish I had something to add to the high school report that you did, but I don't make the games like I used to.
Go Gateway.
Kelly, I'm going to ask you something. What about the Pirates trade?
You know something, Claudio? I am pleasantly surprised. I'm liking what I'm hearing.
You
I'm not going
like
to act
it?
like I'm pleasantly surprised.
Kelly, you and I disagree, but I mean, never disagree. But on this one, I think that everybody's making way too big of a deal about this trade. The guy is 54-68 career-wise.
done.
1 year he went 9-19. They traded one of their top prospects, who Greg Brown used to go ballistic over, and then one of their top pitchers. So I wasn't crazy about Glass now either. But I mean, okay, they got him terrific, but I think that they're really going crazy, making it sound like this is going to push them over the top. That I don't see. That I don't see.
think
The Pittsburgh Pirates will never win the championship unless they have a great white player, and they got rid of Austin Meadows. That was their great white hope.
God.
They'll never win a championship that way.
But anyway,
a black pitcher?
Clint Hurdle used to say, and he still says it, you'll know who a player is by the back of his baseball card. And if you look at this guy's baseball card, he's had 2 winning seasons. Again, 54-68. This year he's 3-5. And Tampa Bay's not all that bad. I just don't see. He's got 2 pitches. And, I mean, hopefully, I think he'll do well this Friday. But after that, I'm a little skeptical. I hope he does great. And maybe he'll be okay. But I don't think it's the blockbuster that everybody's making it out to be. I think that's more my point. Not that he's not going to do well, but they're just making it sound like they just picked up Nolan Ryan, and he's going to help next year. If the Pirates are struggling next year, he's going to be the first guy that's gone.
Get the Pittsburgh
So he's not
Bull
going to
the
finish his
last
career
word.
here.
Give the Pittsburgh Bull the last word.
It's all his.
Mike?
Well,
Man.
it kind of goes back to a couple years ago when Jay Happ came here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think we somewhat disagree on that. Just like, let's see what time takes its course. But I feel what a lot of the enthusiasm is that the team was actually doing. They came off that 11-game winning streak.
They
Yeah,
added
had some
something
falters.
instead of subtracting. I get that.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that.
That's where a lot of the enthusiasm came from.
They're used to them blowing up the team.
And everybody was worried about
I still
that, and
think
they
they
didn't,
lost
but-
on this trade. Hey, but Kel, we got 2 minutes. Thanks for the
Thanks,
call,
Kelly.
man.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Always a pleasure, fellas.
All right.
Mike, so tell us final words for the big event on the 18th. What do you talked about maybe not getting tired of training, but it's getting a little old. You're
Yeah,
looking forward
it's
to
getting
fighting.
old. I'm just ready to jump in the ring.
Tell them real quick about the bike.
Oh, my friends and I, if you want to do something better than what you've been doing, you got to do what nobody else is doing, man. So, Rocky 2, where Rocky's pulling Mickey on the tricycle around the place. I thought it'd be a good idea to start a bicycle heaven in the north side, pull my friend on that with the straps and everything down to the point and then back. So it was 5 miles pulling my friend.
Wow.
It was like intermittent resistance training.
Right,
And he's like, "Oh yeah, I'll help you out if you get tired a little bit."
Was it
Well,
Juju's bike?
There you go.
But the gear shift was broke on it. So I'm coming up the ramp to go up Fort Pitt, and I'm like, all right, he's going to have my back. So after we're all done, he's like, hey, I didn't want to say nothing because it was probably placebo effect. He figured I was helping you, but I couldn't do nothing. The gear shifter was broke.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, I'm doing all that. I'm in great shape. I'm just ready. I'm just ready to go. August 18th, come support. We got shirts there for the Pittsburgh Bull, Michael, the Pittsburgh Bull, 33t.com. You get you can order online. 33T is the promo code. You get 20% off if you want to get a shirt.
All right. Hey, well, Mike, thanks for coming
Thanks for
on.
coming, Mike.
Oh, thank
for
you, guys.
Smoking Jim, Claudio, I'm Luther. Get well, Mike. Migliore, we know, means the best. So, Mike, we wish you the best, and come on back for the next show. SCSportsWorld.com. We'll check you out next time.